Beetlejuice 2. Well, Beetlejuice. Is that what's called?
Oh, you said it 3 times. Fuck.
Oh, shit. Hey, we could use another person on this show. That'd be great, wouldn't
We
it?
could. He could be our third.
He'll never leave, though. That's the problem. And he'll try to marry one of us.
It's your problem. I don't live here.
Shit. Hey, Bill.
Hey,
If you're a geek, have a listen. We got the news. This week's edition. Talking movies, games, TV, and comics. Turning up Feel the Geeks podcast. It's the Feel the Geeks podcast. It's the Feel the Geeks podcast. It's the Feel the Geeks pod. Feel the Geeks. You're listening to the Feel the Geeks podcast.
Hello, and welcome to Field of Geeks episode 219. I'm Josh.
I'm Bill.
How's it going?
Not too bad. How are you doing?
Good. Doing good. Lots to talk about. A lot of cool things are out right now in the theater. A little film called Deadpool and Wolverine is upon us.
It's an independent film. I doubt anybody's ever heard of it.
I feel like we've talked about it every last few episodes.
Yeah.
Because you got the popcorn bucket.
Yeah.
So much coming out. Just trying to avoid spoilers. There's so many out there. Well, there's one I saw by mistake. So
I've even been avoiding, kind of like Jonah said last episode, I've kind of been even avoiding the trailers.
Yeah.
Like I have seen that like OG Sabretooth's in it.
Yeah.
That's about the last, like, I saw a little snippet of the trailer. I'm like, whoop, scroll past it. I don't want to be spoiled by anything. But.
Yeah, because now you got your what do they call it, like advertisement clips, where they give you a little more tease, and it's like, wait a minute, I didn't want to see that. Like, hold up. Yeah.
I don't know. The marketing for this movie though. Oh,
I love it. I haven't looked into who did the marketing and what their like credits are like, but man, they did a great job. Of course, if they were given a lot of money to work with, that helps, obviously. So,
yeah.
Which it seems, I don't know the budget of the film, but
I will tell you the one thing that makes me nervous. It's certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. Oh. So that makes me think it's going to suck.
Really? Because I thought I saw the opposite, where it was, well, no, they said it was lower score than the previous two. Yeah. I don't give a shit. I'm like, I don't buy any of that.
It's going to make its money, though.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
I mean,
people are so hyped for this.
Yeah.
It's going to be fine.
Anymore, you kind of have to just look at the audience score. That seems to be
the only reason I say that about Rotten Tomatoes is that every time the critics score is like super low, it's a movie I love.
Yeah.
And every time they're like, "Oh, you have to see this. It's Oscar worthy."
Shit.
I'm like,
show. Yeah. Yep.
They said that about Cats. That tells you anything.
Acolyte, that was getting like high praise.
Fuck Acolyte. Oh my god. I have to say this like about it makes me think of it because I just watched Dan's the Doomcast. I
missed that, but I'm sure it was good. Yeah.
Watched his latest episode on it.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, I'll give it a chance. I watched the first episode. I'm so fucking sick of Jedis.
Yeah. Well, just the way they're portrayed, for sure, right?
Well, not only that, but like, do you know what Dragon Ball Z is?
Yeah. I don't know much about it, but I'm familiar.
Any of you out there who are fans of Dragon Ball Z, when like Goku first turned Super Saiyan, it was this big deal, like 1 in 1,000 years kind of thing. And then fucking everybody became one. That's kind of what I feel about like the Jedi. When you look at the original trilogy, there were these like, it was like this mysterious thing, like the Jedi are all extinct, and then Luke's a Jedi now, cool.
Yeah.
And now fucking everybody's got force sensitivity,
right?
And it's
well, and a lot of people pointed out like the scrolls need to come back, because I mean, I know there was a scroll, but they're all weak sauce compared to the scroll we've all come to love and expect from a Star Wars.
Yeah.
I get it. It's not a Star Wars movie, so maybe that's why I don't get it. But
and I remember the Clone Wars movie, like for the animated one they did.
Had a scroll, didn't it?
No, it didn't. Okay. And people were like, "What for? No, there's not very." I honestly, if it's not in the trilogies,
makes sense.
I don't really give a shit.
It needs something like it in the beginning, especially for
there's nothing to like hook you in really. With it, I don't think. But
yeah, I mean, it's 100 years before everything. But the prequels have ruined the Jedis, really. Like, they're supposed to be like these like mythical ninja like people, but they just portrayed them like as pussies, and the audience can see things coming they can't. It's like,
Yeah.
I thought these guys are supposed to be smart and in tuned with things, but this
Yeah.
show, I mean, I watched
there's
first.
there's aspects of the Jedi I love.
Yeah, of
Don't
course.
get me
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah.
But
It's no longer special or just
it's
the way
really not.
It's it's like
It's
you get a lightsaber, you get a lightsaber.
yeah. It's the
Yeah.
I don't know.
The
Anyway, tangent.
no,
Sorry,
yeah,
guys.
no, I get it, I get it. Yeah, I mean, I was actually pumped when I think Finn was that the character's name. Like they did him such a disservice. Like I love that aspect.
Absolutely.
Stormtrooper turned good or like gets out of the programming and then he picks up a lightsaber, not really being a Jedi. But I love that aspect. Like he's trying. He's trying to be good and
I think
fight
the
for his
original
loved ones.
The original plan was for him to be like the Jedi.
They just totally botched
But,
it.
yeah.
It was terrible. It was terrible.
I don't know.
And then you had that cool weapon, the
the little like
I thought that
shock
was
staff
cool.
thing. That
Yeah,
was
it's like the stormtroopers adapted. Like, fine, you got lightsabers. I got this sucker now. It'll like rechannel the energy. I like that. It was really. There's some cool introductions to things, but it's just like the Force Ghost. They don't really touch upon it, but it's just there. It's just weird. Like, you know what I mean? They haven't really explored the afterworld of Star Wars. Yeah, and certainly the new creators or the new showrunners in charge, they're just not. They suck. Frankly, they
it's
suck.
so funny because there's been so many, not really so many, but
Yeah,
I've seen so many fan productions on YouTube
yeah.
that blow everything out of the water.
Because the passion's there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's people that actually give a shit about the product.
Yeah, right.
But I don't know.
I know they're not in charge, and that's a shame. And I understand, but still, I don't because it's like
That's why I like what Favreau did with Mandalorian,
yeah,
because he actually wanted to be like, we got to stay,
Yeah. Right,
faithful to the material.
right. Yeah, I mean,
But
his dedication like helped you get Iron Man.
Yeah.
You've seen the behind the scenes of Iron Man is so much it's as entertaining to me as the film because.
oh, absolutely.
He was really trying to make it real as hell. Like he challenged ILM like all the time. Like, can you adjust that? He was really on it.
Yeah, he didn't want to make it look cheap.
Right, because I had to like sell it. And it really worked. Like that movie still makes me anyway. Like, yeah, I want to have a garage like that. I want to build shit.
yeah.
I have no idea what I'm doing, but I always want to have music
Yeah.
on and doing cool shit. Like, man,
Who wouldn't want to have that
right? Yeah.
little toy box of Tony Stark's? But
I mean, I this is going back before the movie, but the Iron Man cartoon in the '90s, him with a hammer and it's like hooked to a wire or some shit. Do you remember the intro to Iron Man?
yeah,
He's just like pounding, and it's like, oh, that shit's so cool. I don't know, it just kind of got your I don't know, geek savviness
Yeah.
to want to embrace it. I don't know. It's just I can't explain it, but yeah. So yeah, that's a good intro.
wow. We went from Deadpool and Wolverine to
Yeah.
fucking Star Wars.
Hey, that's what we do. We're all over the place.
Yeah.
But that's okay. That's okay. This is sad news, I would say. This is probably the last bastion of like rental, physical rentals. That is, Redbox they're out of business for the most part. I mean, they're pretty much dead. in
It
the
sucks,
water.
but it's not surprising.
It's not. Yeah, it sucks because they were their parent company is Chicken Soup for the Soul Entertainment, so they own a bunch of things. They filed for Chapter 11, and then that's now turned to Chapter 7, and so there's now an investigation by a judge. It's regular protocol, just to make sure the funds weren't mishandled. Because these employees are now a little over 1,000 employees are out of jobs now. No severance or benefits. I mean, just like
sucks.
that. It does. But yeah, hopefully they knew it was coming too. But Redbox, when I was introduced, that was such a crazy concept, and it really became popular. Like it peaked in 2013. They had
Yeah, I mean they were everywhere.
They had over 1 billion sales in 2013. They had 43,000 kiosks across U.S. and Canada. And of course, they featured movies, TV shows, and video games,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah.
Did they start out with video games, or did that change?
I don't think so. I
Okay.
think they kind of like gradually went there because
Yeah, I thought so
the
too.
demand for it was
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
I mean, it was literally like a blockbuster you could walk up to.
Yeah, Right.
And,
Outside or inside.
of course,
and,
like, you could return them to any
yeah,
kiosk you wanted to.
that was
I
nice.
remember they came out with an app at one point where you could like look through it and be like, oh, this McDonald's one has the movie I want, so
Yeah.
I'm going to put it on hold and then go and pick it up. So it was,
That was kind of like the bummer of it, I guess. Not enough copies in each one of them, or, not all the time. Like, you're looking for it. It's like, how many
Well, then they
freaking
even-
ones I have to go find here?
yeah. Well, and then they even had the option to buy from them at some
Oh,
point.
yeah, I remember that now. Yeah.
Well, and,
yeah.
and I think if you wanted to buy it, which I don't think anybody really advertised this, but like if you wanted to buy the movie you were renting, all you had to do was hang on to it for 21 days.
Yeah.
And it cost you like $25 or something.
I think we ended up buying one of those. Yeah. My
Something
kids
like
like
that,
lost it or something. They're like, yeah, that's it. But yeah, I remember they were like $1. And you're like, this is great. And then they
yeah, it was like
gradually
$1
went up,
per
of course.
night or
but-
something like that, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
What's
Yeah.
that?
It was like $1 per night.
Yes. Yep. It
something.
was. Yep. For per night. And yeah, they were everywhere. And it's funny because when they first like got popular, I didn't look into it, but I remember there was like some big deal with the studios or something. Like some of the properties they were throwing in there, studios didn't approve of it. So immediately they had a lot of titles like yanked, and their selection kind of went down, and they seemed to have a lot more direct to video.
They
like
had a lot
true
of
knockoff
They had
movies.
a lot of mockbusters.
Yeah, like
there.
if there was Terminator out, they'd have some other thing. And it looked like Terminator, but it was like,
Transmorphers.
yeah,
Remember that one.
that was it. Yeah, silly, but yeah, my brother worked electronics for Walmart, and this is like kind of a bad thing about the Redboxes. I mean, good for the owners of the machines because they're making bank, but they basically started buying the media from Walmart or any retail stores. They buy a shit ton, and they eventually had to put a like a max on it. But they were basically
gotcha.
buying them and throwing them in the machines.
Oh,
And that's a no-no. I mean, there's like studios definitely don't like that, or
yeah.
yeah, so they weren't doing it the right way. And maybe that's another reason why they kind of got punished for not getting permission, if you say. But yeah, the whole it's just sad. It's like after 2 decades of service, it's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, I hadn't used it for a very long time. Just
I
it
haven't
kind
either
of
just
came
because
dirty.
they're-
I don't know.
I haven't
Just-
either just because
Yeah,
where do you find one? Anymore,
right. That
you know?
too. Yeah,
They
yeah.
used to be, I mean, they were like Starbucks. They were on every freaking corner.
Yeah,
Go to
everywhere.
Walgreens, Hy-Vee, Walmart,
Yeah, yep,
gas stations had them. Like, I think even Come and Go.
yeah.
At one point, they had them inside or something. I don't know.
I mean, it was really slick because you'd see the movie the night before, and then on your way to work, you just like throw it in there, and
Put it back in. Yeah. just
Yeah.
Put it back in there.
it was
another one
it
up,
was slick. The whole rental store experience is dead.
which sucks.
It does suck. I miss it so much, and it's just like comic book stores. Like they're still around. I mean, not a lot of them, but at least you get that experience going in, smelling I just like the smells of the new paper. It's all these weird like things attached to the physical store itself. But I remember,
Yeah.
especially if I was over at my dad's every other weekend, begging to go to the rental store, and sometimes
Yeah.
sometimes you get a cool bundle. You get to get like a drink and some food.
We did those at Video Update when I worked there.
Sweet.
Like
yeah.
it was, I don't remember exactly what the price range on it was. It was like $10 or something.
Yeah.
But you got like a bucket of popcorn, 2 things of candy,
That's
two
awesome. Yeah.
sodas, and then like a like a gift book or something
Yeah.
with
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do.
yeah.
I do miss the video store experience. That was my Friday tradition when I was a kid.
Pretty much.
Was,
Yeah.
we had a 5-star video right down the
Nice.
block from us. So I'd
Yeah.
get on my bike after school, after my homework and all that was done, go down 5-star, see what Super Nintendo games they had or what movies they had or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know. It's
a bummer.
the thing that sucks though is that like I think the physical store thing, not even just physical media, is like being phased out because there's that's what bugs me when I go into like a Walmart now is I can't go through their new release section. It might be there for like a week and then they move on to something else.
Right. Yep.
But they have so much of their stock available online that you can pick up, order from the warehouse out, picked
Yeah.
up at the store, but they don't carry that item in the store.
Right.
And
Yep.
I don't know. I think it just kind of diminishes the whole
Yeah.
experience. 'Cause
Yeah. It's like you're hunting. It's like,
Yeah.
do they have it? I mean,
I even like, even to this day, I still like going through like the toy aisles and stuff.
yeah.
But 90% of what they have available isn't on the shelves, or it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
I can go on and on
Oh
about
yeah.
that
No,
forever. But
I get it. I mean, I guess at least they're still selling it.
it's the same thing with to me, it's the same thing with arcades. It was
Yeah.
a part of my, childhood. I love going. That's why I like Monsterama and places like
Sure.
that where you can just go and, have that experience again. But, it's just one of those things like, what do you take your kids to do? Like, oh, what did you like to do when you were a kid? I'm like, well, most of that stuff's gone now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know.
That's true. It does suck. Yeah, that whole experience was something like I remember we could rent a game system for the weekend. That was fun.
Yeah. We used to have that too, like when the Dreamcast came out.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like you
Yep.
could rent a Dreamcast or
Yeah.
something. Yeah. I remember
Like
that.
play the hell out of the game you got to, and sometimes beat it, and
Yeah.
you could rent DVD players. I mean, anything. This is
Oh,
like
yeah.
before that, and then of course, how to show how old we are. Like I remember the rewind fees, and obviously the late charge is still stuck. It was funny. My cousin, when we'd hang out, we'd go to a rental store where he had an account. He'd always have late fees every time
Yeah.
he checked out. That was kind of like
That
I
was
like,
the-
"Ugh, I hope I don't have any late
That was the
fees."
awkward thing is that like, I worked at Video Update when I was in high school.
Yeah.
And then like, the my peers, like my fellow students,
Yeah.
coming in to rent something, they'd have like late fees and stuff. I always felt awkward about it. But whenever like, one of the teachers I didn't like came in and had late fees, oh, it was so satisfying. I'm like, yeah, fuck you. You owe $5.79 in late fees, asshole. I'm just kidding.
It's like, how bad do you want Debbie Does Dallas? Let's think about
Oh
it.
my god, I could tell you some horror stories about
Hey, that's a
Working
show.
at
That's a
video store.
podcast. We need to.
Jesus.
That's another spinoff show. We're gonna
Yeah, no kidding.
just have to change the names and places probably to not get sued. Well, they're not around anymore. I guess. you
No,
can't.
the one place got sued into oblivion that I worked at, so fuck them. They can't. What are they going to do?
Oh, I love it. Yeah. My stepdad. He. I've said this many times. My family. We. They got paid to work for a video distributor, and it was great for a long, long time. And my stepdad was really able to move up in the ladder, and like ended up like running one of the locations here. And in the beginning, yeah, it was like they were the go-between the studios and the retailers. And then, of course, the studios got more and more greedy, and then they decided to go directly to the retailers, some of them,
Yeah,
and bypass the distributor.
kind of
So
cut out the middleman.
yeah, and it really sucked. And one of these days I'm going to get him. We'll probably do like a special episode, but I want to interview him about his whole career, and he's got great stories to tell. I mean, from the highest to the lows, because man, it was 80s was booming. Like it was great. We had celebrities coming in all the time. We had screeners. I remember those trailed off after many years. And I remember it ended up being the last opportunity I had to go to a screener. And I had a fever, and I was still trying to push myself to go. My wife's like, put her foot down. She's like, "You're not going. You're just really sick." But I'm like, I think this is the last screener I'm gonna get. I don't know. It was just like fun. You see their coworkers and great community, and it's just no more, unfortunately. But yeah, I definitely want to get them on and talk to them about some of this stuff. But yeah, I know for new movies, when you rent them, you might as well just buy the damn thing physically. Just wait a little bit, because it's like $20 to rent one. I got like a new release like that's still in theaters,
if they do like a simultaneous release on like both theater and streaming. Or whatever,
like I understand
like
that.
the
I guess
premium ones.
yeah.
The thing that is good, I guess, is like there is a pretty good variety of them out there, like on YouTube, or like if you have a console, looking on like PlayStation Store or something like that.
Yeah.
And you can watch them as many times as you want in like a 48-hour period or something.
That's that's a perk.
That's
and-
kind of a perk, but like
Yeah.
it sucks when you're like, you used to be able to go into like the 99-cent section
yeah,
and be like, I want to rent all 3 Back to the Future movies and watch them in a,
yeah,
in a marathon or like Indiana Jones or something like that.
Right.
And now it's like $5 a pop if you don't own them.
I remember calling about some of the movies and like, can I rent these again? Or sometimes I just didn't get to it, and like, can I just rent these again? Or
Yeah.
so many times I did that. Yeah, I'm sure. And I remember, being on the other end of a copy of a movie wasn't in yet, and like Family Video, they would sell them eventually, which was
Yeah.
kind of nice. Like I actually bought some of them like that. But the problem is, yeah, they didn't have many copies and they sold it. Like you're out, because there was a few.
Well, they
movies I
would-
was like, ah,
I know we did it too at the one I worked at, but like Family Video would get like, for new release, they'd have a wall
yeah,
of that, and each little placard would have like 2 or 3 of them behind it. And because they're like, everyone's going to want to rent this thing. And then once the hype kind of dies down a little bit, it's like, what do we do with all these copies? Well, put them back in the package and sell them.
yeah. I mean, it's a good
It's
idea.
a smart business model, I guess.
You know, they bought the combo like towards the end, but you only get like the Blu-ray, or the
Yeah,
DVD. Like,
yeah, exactly.
you knew there
They-
was more in it, but it's
I
like
remember when they started doing that, when like Blu-rays started being
Yeah.
a thing.
Yeah,
It was like you have this section for Blu-rays, and then you have, yeah.
And I remember like they would clean it for you when you bought it, and then of course they had that
Run it
damn
through the little-
sticker on there though that would be hard to get off.
Yeah.
their sticker they put on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Our Family Video we had, because we had Blockbuster and everything before that, but Family Video like ended up being like the only thing left. And I
Yeah.
don't think we had them forever. I don't remember them forever around here anyway. We had like Movies to Go,
Yeah.
Video City. Video City was cool.
Video Warehouse on South Side.
Yeah,
that was
actually-
a big one. It's
I actually
been there
have-
forever.
I actually have. I joined there to rent when we did our Under Siege 2 commentary. I went there and rented it, and got my membership card. Like it was.
Yeah,
old
I still have
school.
my.
I do
membership
too.
card for
Yeah,
it.
and then they closed like a year later. I'm like, fuck.
And now
But
all
I
the
have my card.
And now all the family videos are Dollar Generals.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they are. It's sad, but yeah, the one that opened by me, I think they all started this way. They were so clean and nice, and man, they just got run the fuck down. And
they did.
they started selling like non-video shit, like
Yeah.
like CBD oil. And I'm like, all right, this is kind of not.
Yeah,
Cool.
it started becoming less of a video store and more of a convenience store, like one of those corner convenience stores.
Right. Well, it was funny because my friend Billy,
Yeah.
he tried to get a job there once, like a part-time, and you had to be like exceptional at math apparently. But then eventually they had employees, and they're like, "Really, this guy? This is your choice?" Like,
Yeah.
just lounging and not
I
giving
will
a shit.
say, like, what it helped me learn so well, and I use this skill to this day.
Yeah.
It helped me so much with alphabetization,
Oh yeah, yeah.
because you had a stack like this to
Yes.
take and put back on the
Yep.
wall, and it was like you had to have them like,
You got to be quick.
yeah,
Pretty much, yeah. I went through my movies, some of my movies. I'm gonna do the rest of them, but we had a garage sale recently, so I went through my movie posters. I filmed that, and I filmed going through some movies, and I was just like, looking at all of them. I'm like, okay, there's someone I follow, Robert Meyer Burnett. In the past, I would try to alphabetize them within their category, but he just suggested like just
Yeah.
alphabetizing all of them. I
yeah,
was like, oh, that's actually not a bad idea. It's
yeah.
easy.
See,
Easier.
I ran into that too, like, because I'm kind of old school this way. I have one
Yeah.
of those big DVD booklet things, like
Yeah.
we used to put our CDs in.
Yeah, yeah.
When we were in high school. We're fucking old, okay?
Hey, they're coming back, man.
Yeah.
So I think they are sort of, yeah.
But yeah, every time I go through there, it sucks because I want to alphabetize them, but like, to me,
Yeah.
the Matrix movies I have are like Matrix Reloaded, whatever.
Yes.
And then Animatrix is part of that. But Animatrix is an A and
Right.
Matrix is M, and
Yeah. I
I
have
don't know.
some
I
of
run
those.
into that a lot with like my stuff. I'm like, do I keep them all in one category or?
Well, it's like I have the James Bond set, so I'm just going to file that under James Bond. And then the Matrix probably would just be M for everything related to it. And then what was the other ones? I was very tempted to just put all the Tarantinos together because I'm like, it just looks cool, and it's like,
I was tempted to do that with
Yeah.
the Cornetto trilogy.
Yes, and I have
like
a
with
3
Shaun of
pack,
the Dead
so that's
and-
easy for
yeah.
me. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But one of the things that, like, when I was moving, I had this booklet, and I'm like, I hate having all these fucking cases all around. So I just put everything,
yeah.
DVDs, put them all into a booklet and
Sure.
called it good and got rid of all the cases. Now, I will keep a few of them. Like, I have some steel books and, like,
Yeah,
special edition collection stuff that I keep.
sure,
But
sure.
yeah.
Some of that's worth saving. Yeah. I've been tempted to get rid of my cases too, but I haven't yet.
That is, I was thinking about this.
It's a
the
tough
other
call,
day.
man. It's tough.
I was thinking about this the other day. That is the one reason why I'm kind of glad that, like, with the PS5, like, the games that I have are digital,
Yeah.
because between, like, PlayStation Plus and stuff like that, I have, like, probably over 300 games. Could you imagine if I
yeah.
had to store those somewhere?
It's like your digital
Like physical
photos.
ones?
Like if you had those physically,
Oh my
you'd
God.
have books and books and books.
Oof. Yeah.
Even though I love physical media, I do. And I would love for. I mean, right now they coexist with the digital. Only problem is with the digital, it's like it's not 100% yours. That's what's scary about it, Like
Like,
that's the only bad thing. And I think in the beginning people were sold like it's yours
That's-
forever. And it's like
that's
nope.
what pisses me off so
Yeah.
much about digital
yep.
stuff is,
I know.
I could do
That's
a 3-hour episode on this.
oh, I know. And we will eventually.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think if you combined all the times we've ranted about physical versus digital,
Right.
we
Right.
probably have like a 5-hour marathon.
But yeah, Redbox, RIP. And unfortunately, speaking of RIP, we have a few people to remember,
We do.
which sucks. I hate to do it, but you got to bring them up. And of course, we're gonna forget some people. So everyone out there, hopefully you don't get all bent out of shape. It's not
Yeah.
intentional.
Exactly. And we're not like,
We're not a downer.
We don't
We're not
try
trying
to,
to be
like-
downers.
we don't try to like exclude the, the key grip on, Star
Right?
Wars
Yeah.
that died,
Right.
whatever,
Yeah.
bad example, but what, anyway, moving on.
Walter, who missed him.
Whitney Rydbeck. I think I'm saying that right. I don't know.
Better than I can.
He played Roy in Friday the 13th, Part 6. Jason Lives. Just passed away. 79 years old. Bob Newhart.
That's huge, man.
Kind of I don't know if I'd say a staple of my childhood, but somebody I remember quite well from my childhood.
Yeah,
Mostly because my parents watched the Newhart show, and
that's when I grew up on. Like when Nick at Night started showing the Bob Newhart show, I was like, "What the hell is this?" My uncle loved Newhart. He loved the whole Vermont setting, and my uncle taped like everything. And
Oh, yeah.
he had a collection of Newhart tapes, and that's one of my fond memories. Like I remember the intro, and I remember tuning in for the last episode. That was at
Was
the
it-
time, yeah.
I forget which one it was. I do remember watching the last episode and having him wake up at the end, and it was a dream, and he was like with the wife
In the
from
Bob
last
Newhart show,
series.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which is it's brilliant, but very controversial because it's like, okay, everyone who loved Newhart is now like, your show was a dream.
Yeah.
It's kind of like,
Which they do meta stuff like that all the time. in
yeah, and you know what?
sitcoms, but-
You don't have to really, in your mind, just do whatever your lore is or whatever. It's fine. I think it was a brilliant moment or a comedic moment. And yeah, of course, it's kind of like Iron Man 3 when they made, what's his face? A buffoon. Like, he made him like Arthur from Dudley Moore movies. Mandarin.
Ben Kingsley. Yeah, Mandarin.
Yeah, but then they course corrected that. So not to say that Newhart needed to do that, but
Yeah. But Shannon Doherty, she was on most famously known for Beverly Hills 90210, Charmed. She'd been battling cancer, I believe, for a while.
long time. Yeah, yeah.
Just passed away at the age of 53 on the 13th.
That's a bummer because I think she did say that, kind of implied that it wasn't looking too good for some time, I think. But
She's been kind of out of the limelight for quite a bit. I think.
yeah, there was a time where they were going to try to make Mallrats 2 happen, but I think it's financing obviously that got in the way. But of course, she's remembered for that film, which
Yeah.
she loved the script, and I just listened to her podcast today. It all started when Kevin Smith shared this. He was a part of this idea for a show where you kind of like you did 10-minute sitcoms, and the network would choose one of them for a potential series. And so he did a show called Stubbs, where he's like this movie theater manager guy. He asked her to be in it, and she was like, of course. And so that's like probably her last time maybe she acted. I'm not sure. It was just it was like a stage type of
Kind of like
show,
like a sketch show kind of thing.
yeah. It wasn't like
Okay.
multi-camera or anything like that.
I
but,
gotcha.
But yeah, it was charming. But that started that whole like rabbit hole where, because he said he was on her podcast. I don't know how far back, but anyway, I started with listening to a couple episodes, and especially with both of them on there. So yeah, Mallrats, like, it tanked her film career sadly, but ended up being like a great cult hit. So she was not like upset. She made peace with it, but she said she loved the script at the time, like she did. So yeah, but yeah,
That was one of the only times I really, and I'm sure I could be missing like tons of indie films or whatever, but that's like one of the first and few times that I remember seeing her like in a movie.
yeah,
So I remember her from. It's always weird when you're so used to seeing somebody on weekly television, and then you like
yeah,
see them in a movie. It's like, hey, I know
They
that
move
person
up.
from that thing.
yeah.
And they're going to start getting movie roles now. And that sadly,
Yeah,
Kinda never
either
happened for her,
stay or
but-
it'll decline, and they'll go back to TV,
Yeah.
which she did with Charmed, and that was a big success for her. And it's funny because both 90210 and Charmed, she didn't stay on the full run of the shows.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember why she left 90210.
did she?
But
She had some kind of like she kind of butted heads with Aaron Spelling a little
that
bit.
might have been it. Yeah,
And then
yeah,
I think Aaron Spelling worked on Charmed as well.
may
and they
have.
kind of
Yeah, I
like-
think they kind of made
They
up
kind of
and
like
then did that.
reconciled. And then,
Yeah, and then she
I
and
don't know,
Alyssa Milano, I think, was
I've heard
falling out of
there
that
was a lot of
show.
personalities on that show that kind of just
Yeah, unfortunately.
clashed. Same thing with 90210, sadly. But
But she's in Heathers. I've never seen Heathers. That's the Christian Slater
that's
film
right.
from the 80s, I think.
yeah, she
So it
was in
predates
that.
90210.
She was in that. I forgot
Yeah,
about
I
that.
still haven't seen that damn movie. And Little House on the Prairie.
She was in Little House on the Prairie. Yeah.
So
You're
stay
right, I
tuned for our
remember
Little House on the Prairie rewatch podcast, starting never.
that. Good God. Could you imagine if we marathon that whole series?
It'd be as boring as
God.
Kevin Costner's new film.
I wouldn't say it'd be boring. It'd just be long as well, yeah, it would be as boring as that.
Well, you know
But-
what? All kidding aside, like, I still want to see that film. That is ambitious. Of course, we're talking about, is it Horizon or some shit like that?
Yeah.
So this is a huge epic Western. A lot of you out there probably seen it or know about it, but yeah, they were like releasing 4 parts of it in the theater. And I think the second part is delayed now because first was received so poorly, but but if I had the money and time, I would totally go see that. It still looks entertaining. It's got Michael Rooker in it. Like, it
Oh, I
was
love
fun.
Michael Rooker.
But
Yeah.
sorry, that was a tangent. But yes, she was on Little House on the
This
Prairie.
is the tangent episode.
They're all tangent.
Yeah, they're all tangent episodes. That's true.
4-parter.
Another guy, if you ever saw a infomercial when you were a kid or had a mom who wore sweatbands and exercised in the afternoons, Richard Simmons
Yeah.
passed away at the age of 76.
He never approved Pauly Shore playing him. Damn it.
Nope. But just
Huge
man,
icon.
one of those guys that's like instantly recognizable
Yeah.
anytime you saw him on
Yep.
on anything.
Yep. And was made fun of a lot.
He got made fun of a lot, sadly, but
Yeah.
he was. I've never. I'm sure you dig far enough, you find dirt on anybody, but
Oh, yeah.
I never really ever heard anything bad about Richard
No.
Simmons. He was always just that guy that was just kind of there.
Yeah, he was just like a mama's boy. He was overweight and he lost all of it and then started inspiring other people. I mean, it seemed like a good setup. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't really think there's any bad blood with him. I mean, as far as we know, but and
I remember seeing him on Letterman a bunch of times too, and it was always just so
yeah.
fun to see them
Oh yeah. Yeah.
interacting and.
Letterman, like, I think they had maybe a falling out, or Richard didn't like how he was treated at the end. But
He was kind of like the butt of the joke for
Yeah.
Letterman, but then like he just kept coming back for more.
it was the fire extinguisher. I think that was the last straw. There's like a episode where his last episode, I think, with Dave, where I don't know what he's doing, but Dave just starts shooting him with a fire extinguisher. Oh Oh God! But he could really do like voices. Yeah, I think there's been some things that have resurfaced since he passed. He was on Howard Stern one time. He totally disguised himself, and yeah, he could have been. He might have been a good actor, really. I don't know. He just seemed like he could have done more outside of that. But I think he was fine with what he was doing. And
well, it's kind of like
got enough
everyone
money.
just knew him for that. So that's what he was.
And he was like homebody for the last decade or so, I think. So I think there was actually a few times where I don't know, friends or fans were concerned about his health or his well-being, and they had like a service call done on him, just to what do they call that when they send the cops to your
welfare check.
Yeah. And, he's like, I'm fine. I'm just, and then you kind of got more from him when Pauly Shore released that short of him playing Richard Simmons, and supposedly he's going to do a feature film playing Richard Simmons. The short's not too bad, but Pauly Shore looks older than Richard Simmons. Like, poor guy has aged badly.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you're not, I don't, maybe it could be the stunt double.
That was the thing about Richard Simmons too, is like every time you saw him, he looked the same.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
He was a vampire.
That was a secret.
Another icon for lonely housewives. Dr. Ruth passed away at the age of 96.
The vagina is special. I don't know.
Yeah. So I always knew she was like a sex therapist or something like that, but I never remember her from that, because it was always like she was just like
referenced
she'd show
an
up.
icon. Yeah.
She'd like show up on a sitcom or something.
Yeah. Yep.
But anyway, I mean, you can hear the voice inside your head right now, probably.
I think Uncle Buck, he was watching her, or I don't know, she was featured in some 80s films.
Heavily in the 80s. Yeah. But
ahead of her time, you would think, right? Like the 80s, that was pretty raunchy, like on Front Street, to talk about that kind of shit. Like, and be out there with sex therapy.
I think when she was doing like the, what do you call that? Like the daytime talk shows.
Oh yeah.
Like going to like Oprah and stuff like that. People were like, oh, a woman can't talk about sex live on the air.
Right.
But that was years ago, obviously. But
ahead of her time, really. And she probably paved the way for, I'm sure she did, all these like,
oh yeah,
maybe not Springer, but I don't know, just because it's kind of like,
she kind of, I think, spearheaded that whole self-help revolution kind of thing, like improving yourself. But anyway, just another
bummer
pop culture icon from.
We're all getting old, guys.
Yeah,
you're not guaranteed tomorrow. Enjoy that.
Yep.
Enjoy that little tidbit.
Exactly.
But guess what? San Diego's coming, or actually has started. Comic-Con.
Yes.
Yay! Right? First time in like years, it's kind of back to normal. They had, we had COVID, and then they had the SAG-AFTRA strike last year, which really screwed things up. But for comic fans, I guess it was kind of nice for the studios not to be there.
Yeah.
They actually kind of, go back to the origins of the con.
Yeah.
Which was established in 1970. So, isn't that crazy how old it is?
That's crazy.
Yeah, so it's running from, started today actually, July 25th through the 28th. So, yeah, as of course news breaks, we will try to get out to our social medias as quick as possible, and then talk about it in our next episode.
That's another thing that pisses me off when SDCC comes around. I love the concept of San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah,
I love seeing it when like new stuff drops from it, but like the fake shit that people put on there, and like, Marvel announced all these movies, and I'm like, there's no fucking way. I'm sorry. You can't convince me that before we have an X-Men movie, we're getting Avengers versus X-Men.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's so like, I don't know. It's
that whole like fake AI thing.
It's everywhere now. You really have to do the research. I mean, we learned this the hard way in the beginning of this show. And this.
Well, how many times did we get a fake poster for Beetlejuice 2 before we actually got Beetlejuice 2?
And don't get me wrong, they look great, but I never bought them because I'm like, Johnny Depp's in this. Like, okay. Like, it's kind of scary how the false information is really becoming like truth to a lot of people anymore. Like, I noticed this on like some some people on Facebook will share like, hey, it's so and so's birthday, and they'll show like 3 photos of that person, and then someone who's not them at all, like a different actor, and it's like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is this? Like, are you serious? Like, are you just trying to fuck with people, or are you that dumb or
Yeah.
misinformed?
Yeah. We don't say stupid anymore.
Yeah, right.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yes, it is. But yeah, there's gonna be a lot of news coming. Get ready. All the big studios are gonna have panels, I think, for the most part. Now Feige probably won't share everything about Marvel because D23 is coming up too. So of course they're gonna save some of that shit. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I think for many panels are gonna have some nice developments, but yeah, we'll share them as they come, of course. This is something that's really kind of shocking. So apparently the heads of the con, they are possibly thinking about maybe moving the con from San Diego when their contract is up in 2026. The reason being is the hotels are no longer giving like discount rates for like blocked rooms to
Sounds like a lot of like price gouging and
yes,
stuff going on.
extremely. It's like damn near impossible to stay there now.
Yeah.
And so they're thinking like, well, if it keeps up, by the time 2026 comes, we may have to leave. But it's like, what are you going to call it then? It's no longer San Diego. I mean, I guess you could say CDCC.
Yeah.
But still, it's like that's kind of
You can hold it
dumb.
in South Dakota, then you don't have to change the acronym.
Well, people are already like, there's already an LA con, so they can't go to LA. So it's like,
Yeah.
well, fuck, I don't know what they're going to be able to do, but yeah,
Kind of sucks, but
that's so terrible. Like,
I'm sure they'll figure something out because I mean that's got to be. I don't think the city of San Diego's hurting for anything, but
right,
I mean they have a lot of
yeah,
franchises in that city that probably
Yeah.
keep it afloat. But I'm sure it's a big, just like it would be anywhere.
it's true.
I'm
I mean,
sure it brings in a lot of money to the city. I doubt they'd probably
right,
want to let it go. Just as many people that come in from
sure.
out of state, some even out of country.
I'm sure Airbnbs are great though for people.
Yeah.
Like the owners of the homes, like,
Yeah,
come on in. I don't know, but yeah,
Somebody
that would
with
be
a big
nuts.
backyard and just throw up a tent.
Right,
Be
right.
good.
But yeah, that's stupid. Hopefully they'll get the message. The hotels around there.
I hope so. I mean,
Raise it a little bit, but let's not get outrageously like 200% increase in
yeah, that's just
when the week before it was like $100 a night or whatever.
Yeah.
It's so shitty. We've talked about this probably last episode, but we didn't have a trailer. So Captain America: Brave New World.
yes. I want to say the trailer dropped the day you guys recorded.
Yeah.
If not the day after.
That's how it usually goes.
Yeah.
As I'm editing, like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had my doubts about this. Like the photos look great, but I know it's had a lot of behind the scenes drama. Just they threw Giancarlo Esposito in there to fix the ending or add an element to the film. So you're like, ooh, it seems like more than just a reshoot.
I'll take him in anything.
No, don't get me wrong.
love
I just hope it's
Giancarlo
worth
Esposito.
it's worth
Yeah.
him being in.
Yeah.
You don't want him to
Absolutely
just be
agree.
like some little character. It's got to be a big deal. But,
Absolutely.
But yeah, what'd you think of the trailer?
Man, that a big guy at the end of it.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen the trailer, go check it out, and then hit pause, go check it out, and then come back because I'm going to spoil the shit out of it.
Blue
Red
Hulk,
Hulk.
everybody. Oh, Red Hulk.
What'd you say?
I said Blue Hulk.
Blue Hulk. Fuck off. Colorblind son of a
Actually,
bitch.
there probably is a
Anyway.
Blue Hulk, isn't there? I think they have all the colors
Oh,
now.
by now there probably
Like
is. I don't
Rangers.
fucking know. Goddamn multiverse shit.
Yeah, Red Hulk, man.
Yeah. So
Been hungry for this.
got a brief glimpse of the Red Hulk at the end, catching and throwing down the shield.
Not happy.
He is not a happy guy. And I'm excited to see how they incorporate him into it. I'm also excited. The Isaiah
Bradley,
Bradley.
the black Captain America introduced in Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
They're kind of like bringing him back into it.
More than that,
Yeah.
tries to assassinate the president. Good timing.
Yeah, man.
Shit. Imagine if that trailer came out. They wouldn't have shown that. In fact, they probably would have rewrote the
That came out before the
Trump assassination.
unfortunate
Yes.
assassination attempt on
Right.
Trump.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I'm like, whoa, shit, this is really on the nose. But
Yeah,
Isaiah Bradley, I'm like, oh fuck,
I am hyped for this though.
it looks
I
good.
don't get excited for Marvel
Yeah,
projects very often anymore.
yeah.
I used to be, oh man, I used to geek the
I think
fuck
all
out.
of us were for a long time there after
I did
Endgame. Though,
with
just,
Wolverine, Deadpool and Wolverine. Though, of course, I've been excited, but
yes, it's a refresher.
this looks good. I mean, I'm
does.
glad that it's actually going to be a movie.
Yes,
It is going to be a movie, right?
yes,
Sweet.
It sure is.
All right.
It looks like a movie.
I'm looking forward to
We
it.
have a movie. It has a lot of Winter Soldier vibe going for it. I feel a little bit.
You think they're maybe going a little bit darker, a little more serious?
Feels like that. I mean, especially given the assassination attempt, and then
Which I did. I will say that about the Captain America: The Winter Soldier
Yeah.
movie.
yeah,
I liked the direction they went with that, making it a little more darker, a little more serious.
yeah,
So if they are doing that with this,
yes,
it'd be nice to see. I love Anthony Mackie to death, but he's kind of a goofball.
yeah.
Not he
Kind of
you
plays
know what I mean?
himself.
He kind of plays him. He does.
He's a Ryan Reynolds.
He's kind of like I wouldn't go that far. It's kind of like Jamie Foxx in
Yeah.
No Way Home.
Yeah,
Kind of like where he just dropped playing
sure.
Max Dillon and started playing himself.
Yeah, yeah,
But I think he's phenomenal in like serious roles though,
yeah.
too.
He can do it.
He's a great actor. He can
Yes.
just flip it.
Yes.
I'm wondering how many times we're going to see the aggressive point from Harrison Ford that he does in every fucking
Get off
movie.
my plane.
Anyway, I shot first. I'm kidding. But yeah, it looks good. I'm excited for it.
It does, and they had like a nice tongue-in-cheek intro of Sam meeting President Ross. How he acknowledges the mustache is gone. It was, I think we kind of called it like it was his staff that when he ran for president wanted to give him a new look.
Oh yeah,
It's a nice
Okay.
nod to when they replaced Rhodes with Don Cheadle, and in the introduction to Iron Man 2 where he goes, I didn't know you're going to be here. He's like, well, it's me, get over it, or something like
Yeah.
that. So it's like kind of a
little like
we're
aha, you
we're
get it?
addressing, hey, but again with the false imagery we get and stuff. There's another stupid headline going around, which if you're not, I guess if you don't know or follow this shit, maybe you need to read it. But they're like, I don't even read the articles because it's stupid. I know the reason, but it's like the reason why Ross was recast. I'm like, okay, William Hurt died, guys. Like that's the reason.
No fucking shit.
There's no other drama.
I
no longer
I
here.
can't stand that, and I
Yeah.
think like BuzzFeed articles started that
Yeah,
whole trend of like
just hit your head.
giving
really?
you what do they call that? Giving you like a title to like hook you in,
Yep.
but it had like clickbait.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Totally is. Yep.
But it like has nothing to do with anything.
Right.
It's like the real reason why Ryan Reynolds doesn't want to play Green Lantern anymore because the movie fucking sucked.
Yes, and he's doing okay with Deadpool.
He's doing okay.
and
I
other
think
movies.
he's doing okay.
Yeah, he's gonna make it. I think he's gonna make it.
He's got Mint Mobile to fall back on.
Yeah, I mean he's married to Blake Lively. Yuck. But other than that,
Poor guy.
Career's doing pretty good.
Really, jeez.
Congrats on next baby, by the way. So,
Yes. It ends up looking like Hugh. Just kidding. Oh, don't put that out there. He'd be like, motherfucker. Anyway. All right.
but yeah, Rhodes wants to make Captain America a military position, so there's that aspect. Trust no one. That's going around.
That whole going back into the Civil War thing, making him registered.
Yeah,
If it were any other character in the MCU, it would be like you're just doing Civil War all over again. But it's Ross.
Yes.
He's kind of like responsible for Civil War.
Yeah, like he's trying to. Well, on the surface, looks like he's trying to mend things. He wants him involved, but yeah, this whole setup of
I think the thing with this trailer, though, I'm gonna approach it the same way I did Deadpool and Wolverine.
yeah,
I'm glad for the teaser and like,
Yeah.
whetting my appetite with it, but I'm not going to watch any more trailers on it.
Don't need to. You really don't. I mean,
Yeah. Well, and I don't want all
Yeah.
the best parts of the film to
true.
be spoiled,
True.
but
Yeah.
I'm really hoping this sets a new precedent for Marvel where they kind of take more time
Yes.
with their projects instead of just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Absolutely. Yeah. I hope I think they're starting to recognize like they need to make their
They
adjustments.
need to pump the brakes a little bit.
Disney Plus.
People
really,
will wait.
Yeah.
People will wait for Marvel movies to come out.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
100%. Yeah. The TV shows hurt hurt all of the, like, I don't know, desire to see more because there was just so much. It was oversaturated.
Yes.
The films were just kind of started to be done very poorly. Not a lot of creativeness to it.
very much so.
But yeah, so I have a feeling that I'm thinking how they introduced Red Hulk to us. Like in the comics, he was introduced in 2008, I believe. So it's not as old as I thought, the concept, but I think he did it in the comics. Ross did it, became Red Hulk to take on Banner and all that. And then he ended up feeling for Banner, and they became friends because he kind of understood where
He became part of the Hulk family.
exactly.
Kind of thing.
I'm guessing he does get shot, and for some reason they have to use gamma radiation to heal him, and it backfires. That's my guess with all this. Now we do know the leaders in this film,
Oh, that's right.
so perhaps he has something to do with it as well. But I'm pumped. I think it's gonna be weird seeing a Harrison Ford Hulk,
Yeah.
but it'll be fine. It's fine. It'll be more animated than than him. So let's hope, right?
Yeah.
He didn't do mocap. I'm sure.
I can't wait to see the Red Hulk just looking like. For those of you listening and not watching, you kind of just picture the guy from Up, like the grandpa from Up.
Yeah,
Anyway, Carl, that's his
big
name.
glasses. Yeah. Speaking of Marvel, I think this counts as Comic-Con breaking news. I mean, they're probably going to officially say it on stage, but it appears the Russo brothers are back for Avengers 5 and 6. So this is their return. It's in talks from what I read. Now this is the return since Endgame. This was the last movie they did for Marvel, and really the last success they had as directors. They've been successful producers, but still haven't really brought a film that was, which is like, it sucks, But I'm glad that they're coming back home in a way. The whole Kang arc was going to be retooled. I think we all know that. Supposedly Sean Levy, who just did Deadpool and Wolverine, and I think he did was it the new guy? What was not the new guy? Free guy. I was like, not the new guy. That can't be right. Supposedly he was offered this prior, and I guess turned it down. Maybe I'm not sure. The article kind of just didn't really explain. They said he was hired, but I don't get it. But anyway, Avengers 5 is going to drop May 1st, 2026, and Avengers 6, which is going to be Secret Wars, is dropping May 7th, 2027. So this is a huge deal. Deadpool and Wolverine, I think, will kind of give a nice refresher to the Marvel property, but it's also kind of its own thing, its own universe, like it's fourth wall breaking and all that. After they make these two films back to back, that's their chance again to be in the good graces, and they just can't blow it.
Well, and supposedly Marvel has found their Wolverine.
Really? That's interesting. Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Well, and
I've heard Daniel Radcliffe. I've heard Henry Cavill. I've heard all kinds of stuff. But
and there's been some great fan castings, and it did work for Doctor Strange with John Krasinski. Of course, that was just like a one-off, basically, but
that was fan service. It wasn't a plan to go forward.
Still appreciated it. Like it was cool. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting, this new phase of Marvel, because Fantastic Four, I guess, is going to exist in an alternate Earth, another Earth that in the 60s.
It's going to take place in the 60s, yeah.
Right, on another Earth. So that's a lot of flexibility there. I like that. So I wonder, how the X-Men is going to be figured into all of this. But yeah, very interesting. This whole Russo thing, I think, is great news. Hopefully they still got it. I'm sure they do.
Oh, hell yeah.
But if they can knock these out of the park like they did the last two, back to back like that,
It's going to depend on who they have to
yeah.
for an ensemble cast. Because
Yes, that's going to be a key element too, of course. And,
a lot of the ones that we had in Endgame you can't use in this one, other than the younger ones that kind of got pushed.
Sure. I mean, yeah, honestly, some of the ideas that Disney Plus shows have set up, I think other people in charge of those ideas and the cast, like Thunderbolts is still happening. I think you just need the right writers, creative, the showrunner or the director. If it's a film, I think they can run with it. I don't think you need to like retool anything. Just like the whole Kang thing. Again, I felt like if you just recast Kang, you can do that.
Yeah.
And just write them better. Like, I don't know.
See,
like, get a different team involved.
So here's my thing.
Yeah.
Before I found out he was going to be in, what is it, New World? Is it Brave New World now? The Captain America movie? Is that what
Yes.
they're calling it?
Because it was New World Order.
Yeah. I keep wanting to call it New World Order.
I do
and
too,
It's
yeah.
it's not fucking pro wrestling. Before I found out that Giancarlo Esposito was going to be in that,
Yeah.
and I saw an article that he has joined the MCU, but it wasn't confirmed yet who he was going to play.
Yeah.
I was like, please let him be Kang. That would be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
Old, right? A little bit.
not only that, but like he's played so many villains and so many
I
properties.
know. Yeah.
He's played Stan Edgar in The Boys.
Yeah.
Whatever his name is in The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Gus Fring.
Yep.
I'd like to see him do. Hopefully, it's not the same old. I love that, but I don't want that in
Yeah.
Captain America. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, there's so many.
I think I have a feeling his character is going to be like, what do you call it? An anti-hero? Like he's not really a villain. Maybe like Punisher level. Maybe?
Kind of like he doesn't agree with Sam, but he doesn't agree with the
He's got a job.
other
That's
side
the
either.
job. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
just here to do a
feel
job
like
kind of thing.
Yeah, I feel like hopefully that's what we're getting. Something a little new, but yeah. Again, if these if all these films really are successful, I mean, that gives Marvel a new push to the heights again. And if they can keep that going, I think they need to do less, and they're learning from that.
Yeah, I think they've very much learned that lesson, but they also
But I
some of the existing toys in the toy box
yeah.
that they have to deal with are ones I'd rather not see again.
Right. And you know what? To some extent, I do applaud them for, I guess, trying to do this, all these shows and stuff. Because when they first were announced, it was like, this is awesome. This is amazing. And then now it's like,
If you can, put the Marvels and the Skrulls, Nick Fury, all into the same ship and just get sucked into a black hole
yeah.
or a supernova or
Or
something.
have one of those eternal gods grab them and take them away.
Use them as a fucking toothpick. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just get rid of them.
Flick it into the sun.
And we don't need Harry Styles as Eros. We really don't.
I don't think it's going to happen anyway.
We
So.
really don't.
No.
Anyway.
We don't. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. I think.
I don't think, like you said, with the release date for the Avengers,
Yeah.
we've got years
Yeah.
to develop something.
Right.
And I don't think it's all going to be on Disney Plus either. So
No, I think they need to
That'll be
just get away from that. Absolutely. Beetlejuice 2. Well, Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice? Is that what's called?
Oh, you said it 3 times. Fuck.
Oh, shit. Hey, we could use another person on this show. That'd be great,
we
wouldn't it?
could. It could be our third.
He'll never leave, though. That's the problem. And he'll try to marry one of us.
It's
so
your problem.
that's
I
gonna be
don't
weird.
live here. Shit.
Hey, Bill.
Hey,
Yeah,
You see.
we got a official. Well, I think it's an official trailer, isn't it? Or is
Yeah.
it trailer 2? I think it's
We
trailer
got-
2.
so the first one we got was a teaser.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
This is like the official trailer or whatever.
Yep.
Does look good.
It does. It still looks good.
I'm excited. I mean, Jenna Ortega can't really do any wrong anyway.
No, I mean, she's on a high right now, and I mean, you could even say Winona Ryder is because of Stranger Things, but obviously that's
She's really brought.
plateaued a
You
little
know,
bit.
I will say this: think whatever you want about her acting ability. I'm glad she kind of brought herself back around. Like Winona Ryder was in a in a bad way for
Yeah.
a while. I'm glad
Yeah.
she kind of brought herself back around.
Yeah, no, it's great. Stranger Things really helped that, and yeah, I like her. I think she's a fine actress. Yeah, I think she just kind of got typecast in a certain mode, and yeah, thankfully, it's just the right time to bring all these people back.
Yeah.
Keaton hasn't really missed any step. I mean, he's older, obviously, but you can play into that because his character's dead. So
Well, yeah. I mean, really, the makeup,
Yeah.
you know, can kind of conceal a lot of that too.
Sure.
And
yep.
but man, am I looking forward to this?
It looks great. Like they're really exploring the underworld more, it seems. Beetlejuice seems to be in charge of the underworld, or at least a department of the underworld.
So, for those of you who remember the animated series, which was phenomenal, by the way.
Yeah. I had the toys from it too.
Oh yeah, God, I love the toys.
Yeah.
I think the animated series might have touched on it a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
sure they did.
Fleshed out some more of like the underworld and the paranormal.
They
and
made him
stuff
more
like
of a
that.
good guy too.
Yeah,
He wasn't
he
trying to
really
marry
was.
Lydia anymore. He was like her friend.
He was her. Yeah, she was his sidekick and all that. I don't know,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I think this looks good.
It does. It looks
Really
good.
does.
It really, unravels more of the plot. I guess Lydia teams up with the Beetlejuice to get her daughter, rescue her daughter. I almost wonder if Lydia's mom's or stepmom is in the underworld too. I think there's a scene where she's sitting in the waiting room, so I'm concerned. Like, shit, is she gonna die in this? And maybe they have to rescue her too, or
A lot of movies like Captain America, for example, right?
Yeah.
I like to throw in my little theories of like what's going to happen
Yep.
and stuff like that. This is one of those movies I'm just in for the enjoyment.
yeah,
I'm just going to be like,
Yep.
whatever happens, happens. I'm just excited to see Keaton back as Beetlejuice.
It looks fun, man. It really does, and
It's going to be one of those fun movies. It's just going to be.
it'll be out in the fall
course.
too. Yeah.
Or my daughter's excited to go see it because she's a big fan of.
Sure.
First
my
movie.
kids too. I mean, we introduced them to that film probably a couple years ago. So
Yeah.
yeah, it looks fun. It's great timing. It's coming out September 6th. Unfortunately, not Halloween time, but damn near close. So it probably still be in theaters.
We will have a good movie that is coming out around Halloween time though.
What's that?
Trailer for that just dropped, or I just saw the trailer for that today.
Oh,
Terrifier 3.
oh yes, yes.
Yeah.
Clown, right? Or-
Yes. His name's Terrifier.
Here's a calling card.
No, I think this is going to take place like during Christmas or something. He's like in a
Yeah,
Santa
he's gonna say.
outfit. I don't know. It looks good.
I still have to see them.
Anyway.
I haven't seen them yet.
Oh man, they're so good.
Like bad good.
Art the Clown, I think is his name. Yeah.
Is
Art the
it?
Clown. It's so. Oh man, it makes Pennywise look like Ronald McDonald.
I know. I have heard it's like it goes out there.
Well, he's totally silent too. Like so,
Oh
so he
yeah.
just
Oh
has that like grin. Like, but he does a lot of like physical
yeah.
stuff that like really makes the film. It's so good. Anyway, yeah.
No, hey,
Tangent.
that'd be great. It's always great when a scary movie comes out around that time, It's
Yeah.
but yeah, Beetlejuice probably still will be hopefully a big success and still be in the theaters at that time. But
I think there's going to be a lot of people dressing up as Beetlejuice for Halloween.
oh yeah, for sure. That reminds me at the con there was a couple who dressed up as them too, and I was like,
Yeah.
that looks great. I think I interviewed one of them, so we'll be releasing that eventually. I assure you.
2027. It'll coincide with the release of Avengers: Secret Wars.
That's when my editor will get to it. Me, no,
Fucking editor, you need to be fired. Anyway,
I got many hats.
he's got a couple of them sitting there.
I do. Like sheriff, lawyer, town drunk. But yeah, there's gonna be a deep pull in this film. Monica Bellucci is playing, who's actually married to Tim Burton in real life. She's playing Beetlejuice's wife, and I guess it's a real deep pull, like from the first movie. Remember where he's trying to find the ring and he pulls a finger out?
Oh, she meant nothing to me.
Yeah,
dude.
so that's the nothing basically. So it's like vengeance.
Oh man.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of cool to play into that.
Yeah.
Musical numbers we see.
It'll be another one of those little like kind of callback
Yeah.
fan service kind of things. It'd be great.
I mean, William Dafoe's in this. He looks really bonkers. I love the look. I mean, the The art department really did a great job. I mean, they're really amping it up. Like I think it's all the same team who did Wednesday, so it's like a no-brainer.
Nice.
And I think Burton kind of needs that assist more than ever. You know, it just felt like he got away from kind of his. I don't know. He really got into.
He really
him.
played into his hokiness.
Yes.
Quite a bit.
And the
I
studios
think
were
he
like,
just went
no.
way too overboard.
Spawn. So years back, Todd McFarlane was like, "Hey, I'm gonna direct a Spawn movie," and we cast Jamie Foxx as Spawn. I forgot his real name, his character's name. The
Al
cop.
Simmons.
Yes. So that's kind of been dead forever. People are like, "What's happening?" Not much word on it. Blumhouse was putting this out. I think they were trying to get financing at the time. But there's a new update that just dropped. Jason Blum and Todd McFarlane on Twitter shared a first page of a new script, and it's called King Spawn. And it's written by Max Mixon, who did Captain America and the Winter Soldier, and Scott Silver, who did Joker. So King Spawn, I guess, was a 2021 comic series they did. For now, it seems that's the new direction. We're not sure if McFarlane's going to remain director or not. I doubt it, but he's never directed anything before.
I would probably keep him on as like a
Consultant.
Consultant.
Yeah,
That'd be a good
and I
thing
think
to keep
that's
him
what's
on as
happening here.
creative consultant, whatever.
He's
they
probably
call
okay to
that.
take a step down because I don't know. I think the more money you get thrown at it is also the like, hey, well, who else can direct this? Who's actually had experience and all that? But Jamie Foxx, I'm not sure. He seems to be in good health now. He had I think he had a stroke or something. Yeah, he was hospitalized.
I remember
Yeah.
hearing something about that. Yeah.
So I don't know if he's still aboard or not. We'll see. But of course, Spawn, that came out in 1992. And then we had a 1997 film adaptation starring Michael Jai White. And would you say that's a cult classic, Spawn? It didn't land at the box office too well.
I put it up there with like Mortal Kombat.
Okay, yeah.
As far as
special effects,
my personal
yeah,
thoughts on it, it kind of came out in that same
studio,
period.
new line,
new
and
line.
probably same effects department.
Well, and the soundtrack, my God, what a banger!
Well, and they really, I commend them on their cape work. I know it looks really fake, but man, that was like
for the
cutting
CGI
edge. Yeah,
at the time,
they really pushed
really
it.
Good.
Yeah.
And then of course the HBO
Yes,
animated
late 90s
films
series.
with Keith David voicing Spawn, who
Those were
also
great.
voices him in Mortal Kombat 11,
Nice.
which is really cool. Oh man, he's a perfect voice for Spawn.
I need to revisit that HBO series. I had it on. I think I had it on
was-
VHS.
There was 3 of them in total,
Nice.
which they were going to be. I think each one was like an hour and a half long or something like that. They were going to make like a whole, keep making a series of them or something. Then HBO said no, we're done or something.
I mean, they were well produced, animated. They're
very
very
much so.
high regard for those. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're man. Where's the remaster of those? That'd be cool. Like you just
Definitely.
polish them up a little bit.
I would, fan casting wise, Jamie Foxx is probably a good pick.
Yeah, if he's still even.
I would
considered,
say
but
he's probably more.
Anthony Mackie. Just have him play everything.
Yeah, Anthony Mackie. No, thank
Yeah.
you.
No. Although,
I would say Idris Elba, but
yeah,
I don't see Al Simmons when I look at him. Jamie Foxx, I would love to see as like a dark character.
yeah.
That'd be pretty cool. Or
He's never played a villain, I don't think. Well, I'm not saying Simmons is a villain. He's an anti-hero, right?
right,
Kind
but
of. I mean, he did kill
kinda to
innocent
have that,
people,
like-
so I guess.
kind of to have. You got to think too, like when Spawn takes the mask off, he's a burn victim.
Yeah. It doesn't matter
so
the age.
He's gonna be behind.
Hell, you got Keith David
prosthetics and
be
stuff.
Spawn. Yeah. Michael
Yeah.
Keaton. No. No. Yeah. I don't know. You're looking forward to this?
Oh, very much so.
I am
love
too.
Spawn.
I think we've all been hungry for another one since '97, and I think they planned to make more. Then it just didn't. Box office it just tanked, but yeah, and the original had a good cast. I think it is considered a cult classic. I would say.
I would think so.
I'd say so. Sure. Fuck, Super Mario Brothers is too.
Yeah, well, and they both star John Leguizamo.
There you go. And John Leguizamo did a great job as that clown, I thought.
He did.
Holy fuck. He went out
'Cause
there.
The clown's a fucking sleazeball.
Yeah.
And I think he
Job well done.
he nailed it.
Yeah.
John, oh man, one of my favorite actors of all time, really.
Yeah.
Like you can throw him in anything,
Sure.
and you know what sucks is that like around the same time as like Spawn, there was Spawn, and then there was Tu Wong Fu
Yeah.
that he was in also.
Which was a hit too. I think.
Yeah, and then like
Even box
anytime
office.
I'd see that he was cast in something, I'd be like, God, this is gonna suck.
Yeah.
But then like he totally won me over. So I was, by the time I got to John Wick 1 and he was in it, I was like, yes, John Leguizamo's in it. He's gonna be awesome. And
Yeah.
wasn't a big part, but he's
Sure,
he's a great
sure.
actor. But yeah,
That does remind me though about John Wick. It's crazy to go back to especially the first film and be like, oh my god, that character! I didn't know that actor was in this thing. Like, where the hell has he been? Like,
there
holy
was a lot of people in the first John Wick that were like the guy who played Theon Greyjoy was in it. He was the son that ended up killing his dog.
Oh, yep.
Lance Reddick, just great
Yeah.
actor.
He was in all of them though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the guy's name? The like head of the Continental.
Oh, yeah, Ian McShane.
Ian McShane.
Yep.
That's a
Yep.
tremendous
He's
actor.
still with us in the film franchise. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so many actors, especially in that first one. I was like, whoa, I forgot these guys were in this one. Like,
Yeah, it was like
it's changed so much.
It was like an all-star cast without being you
Yeah.
know, like billed as an all-star cast.
Yeah, it was kind of like the first movie is kind of like the pilot, and then
Mm-hmm.
they tweak things because the other films are like very different. I mean, in a way, they're not as independent feeling,
they
maybe.
they get a little more fantastical the longer they go
yeah,
on.
just like Fast and Furious.
Don't you disparage John Wick like
No,
that.
I'm not saying that level. I just kind of as an example.
No, I understand what you're saying.
that
though.
that does remind me though. Like I was going through my films and I
You burned
chucked.
all your Fast and the Furious DVDs. Good
No,
job.
no. But I threw 6 out because I'm like I liked 5 and that was it pretty much. And then I looked at the Transporter. I only have 1 and 2 of the Transporter. I love the Transporter. 2 is fucking fiction, like total science fiction, like cartoon. And 3 I think just goes further. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I kind of want to be a completist, but some of these franchises I just can't. Like,
Yeah.
this was it, man.
Well,
But yeah, Wick's different. Wick's still kind of
the thing is, like,
realistic
if people
in a way.
really love the first one, but you do all the cool shit in the first one, what are you going to bring
That's
to
true.
the second one?
yeah, that's
Without
true.
like space lasers. No,
Yeah.
just kidding.
Right, but you keep learning new ways to kill people, especially like with the book in the third one.
They
I think
They did
Like,
the same.
holy
I mean,
shit.
really, like, I wouldn't say they did the same thing with Die Hard, but like, they did the same thing with Die
First
Hard.
3 were great. First 3 were solid, and then
Yeah.
after that, it's like he's no longer a man with fear and just jumping off shit like 50 feet in the air. It's
Yeah,
like
you
okay,
know, taking on a
Okay.
flying Harrier.
okay,
Anyway.
yeah. By the way, those are like 2 I threw out too. 4 and 5. I'm like, bye bye.
Yeah.
I'll stick to the trilogy. Joker, Folie à Deux. Folie à
which
Deux.
is French for Field of Geeks.
Yes.
And you can trust me because this is on the internet. Nobody
Yes.
lies on the internet.
pay us, Warner Brothers. Starring Johnny Depp.
Yes.
as
So anyway, Forky Ajou, or whatever it was I called it in our group chat, or in our Facebook chat. 'Cause I couldn't remember how what the fucking name was. Anyway,
I don't hate the name. It's very
No.
artsy, but I think that's
It
the whole
is.
point of this. These are art house Joker films, I would think, or say.
yeah,
right?
very
Yeah.
much so.
Yeah, which is
I'm
fine.
I'm impressed with the trailer.
Yeah,
Very impressed. I can kind of see. So at first, when we're like way back when we were first talking about Joker 2,
yeah,
and they're like, it's going to be a musical. I was like, fuck.
right.
But I can see the musical like production part of this whole thing,
Yeah,
and I'm way more confident about it now that I kind of see like where they're going
sure.
with this.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to brag, but from the beginning when they announced this concept, I thought it was intriguing, and of course, if they'd done it
I remember
right,
you
Yeah.
saying that, like, if
Yeah.
it's done right, it'll be great. And I'm
Because they
like,
got to do
I don't know.
something. They got to do something else because like you said with
They gotta
John
do
Wick,
something
they went for it for the first one. It was not expected, I think, to ever be another one because it made $1 billion. So the studio's like, if you're not going to make it, we're going to get someone else to make it. So maybe that's why Todd Phillips like, fine, I'll do it. And this could all be bullshit, but I'm kind of feeling like maybe that's what brought him back. Like, all right, I got this other crazy idea we can do. And I know his films are like, he's borrowing a lot. I mean, I guess all filmmakers do that.
He borrowed a lot in the first one.
Like
I mean, you could
Taxi
see, like,
Driver
Taxi
and
Driver.
King of Comedy, I think it was.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's okay. I mean, it's we all get intrigued to see our favorite people, like in a different genre introduced
Yeah.
into their mythos. But yeah, this
I
is
love the first Joker.
yeah,
So good.
yeah, it was good and very intense.
I'm excited to see what Lady Gaga does with this.
I think they're gonna, and I just remembered like Joaquin Phoenix played Johnny Cash, so I'm not saying he's a fantastic singer, but he can carry a tune, I'm pretty sure. And from all accounts in the trailer,
He sings in the trailer, I believe.
yeah,
I believe that's him singing. Like,
yeah, oh yeah,
he's kind of singing like a little
yeah.
melody kind of thing. But
It's like monotones of like hip songs. It's funny because at the end they're singing "Come On Get Happy." And
Yeah.
it's like, whoa, it's so creepy how they're doing it, but also kind of like, this is kind of relaxing, like it's not gonna be so bad. It's gonna be
but
bad.
they're both gonna just like try to burn the entire world
Oh
down,
hell yeah.
which looks great.
But yeah, it's like there's so much fantasy elements in it, because we know Joker in the first one, we thought he had a girlfriend, right? And then they do that twist, and he never did.
It's like all in his head kind of thing.
So
like,
this
it's his
one-
own perceived.
This one feels like you really don't know what's real and what isn't real. Like
Yeah,
you'll probably be getting medication in this movie, so who knows if we're like tripping with him.
well, and the thing with this too, he kind of had like sort of a cult following by the end of the first one,
right,
or he was, which again could have been all in his head, like,
true. Yep, yep.
But
Yeah, he's
I
got
don't know.
supporters. He's got supporters, and then he's got ones that look anyway become like extremists and become more than him, and
kind of
they're chasing
it's a
him. Remember
cult
that?
of personality kind of
Yeah,
thing.
there's that scene they're chasing him, right? And one gets
Yeah.
hit by a car. Like, what is all this shit? Like, it's crazy. I love Brendan Gleeson's introduction into this. He's one of the guards, and he's like kind of. I don't know if he's going to be like a moral compass for the Joker, but he's really like challenging the Joker to think like, you really think you're something special, or
I think it's going to be a lot of like, this is by no means a technical term. There's going to be a lot of mind fuckery going on
oh,
in
absolutely
this
yeah.
movie, so I'm looking forward to
We
it.
just got a taste in the first one, and
Yeah.
a lot of people still argue like that end scene was he all along in the institution and just thought this all happened.
This was
like-
his
Yeah.
way of escaping.
And I don't think we really need to know the truth. I think we just go with it. And
I think, the more you leave up to interpretation, we don't need to have
yeah,
we don't need to be spoon fed everything.
right, exactly. The musical numbers look cool. The set pieces, they have like a 70s variety show or 60s maybe.
Yeah.
That's cool. Like, yeah, I love it. It really is like, it feels like the first movie again, but but original still. Like, it doesn't feel like it's a total like.
It doesn't feel like a
repeat.
rehash of
Exactly.
it or anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's like a scene where he's like his own attorney. I doubt that's like actually happening, but in his head he's probably like, maybe he's daydreaming in the courtroom, and that's how that happens. Like,
Well, because he's in full makeup when he's in the courtroom.
yeah, that too.
So
Yeah,
it's kind of like,
yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
buddy. I
But
don't
I'm
know.
also
But when he puts the mask on, that's when he becomes a performer.
right. Exactly.
Kind of
right.
like he did on the comedy set in the first one.
Exactly, and I'm really really looking forward to seeing their Arkham Asylum, because we got their Gotham, the image and
Yeah.
the feel of Gotham, and then there's like a wide shot, I think, of a car going up to Arkham, and like oh, I dig all this. Like, it's just
very
it's just
much
it's another one-off film, but it's cool. It can exist on its own, and I think it's just one of those. I think fans can just have fun with it and not really feel like betrayed if it goes against what we've known of the
think-
Joker.
yeah,
it's just
I
kind
think-
of like its own thing. It's just
Well, and I think there is that expectation now because of the first one.
yeah,
So this is going to be one of those ones where you you go sit in a dark theater, you turn the lights off at home if you're watching it at home,
Yeah.
and you just immerse yourself in it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So I'm very much looking forward
Not just
to this.
action and all that. And yeah, and I got to say, like, it's very intriguing that he, this is a spoiler of the first Joker. He may be Bruce Wayne's brother. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, but I think that was more of like his mom
Probably.
kind
Yeah.
of being in that. I don't think that.
Yeah. I'm okay with it either way. I just think
It
it's
would
kind
be
of,
kind of it would be kind of interesting to have that like
yeah. It would be hokey
good
outside of
good
this.
brother, evil brother
Yeah.
kind of thing,
Yeah,
but
it would not fly, if it wasn't done with these people. But because I think, like, again, it's a one-off, you can kind of just go with it. Like, okay, let's see if that's true or not. Whatever, I don't care, because it
Mm-hmm.
in canon it doesn't mean things. It's just kind of like a what if,
this
which is very popular.
This is an Elseworlds.
Yes, exactly.
story.
And we may get our first glimpse of the new title card before the movie, because I think that's what they're going to call it, DC Elseworlds, since Gunn took over. So I think that's
kind of like Marvel Knights and
yeah,
stuff like that, where it's a little more. It's a more mature, grounded take.
exactly.
With all of the movie stuff behind us, now we'll get into some gaming news.
Sweet.
We're looking forward to that here. Another topic having to do with Marvel. So sorry, everybody out there who's DC fans. Marvel Rivals, the closed beta on this, just started not too long ago. They're already seeing just off the chart number of players
Nice.
on this. I tried to get into it. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get into the closed beta, but the concept of this is like kind of like Overwatch meets Marvel.
Okay.
So it's a 6 versus 6 team based kind of shooter thing.
Oh, fun. Yeah.
Very cool concept of I mean, you can watch gameplay videos of it out on YouTube, but
Sure.
while this beta is going on, they're like making new character releases for the game. So I think
Nice.
Venom is like the latest one they did, but
That's cool.
certain ones that like certain characters can team up to do like double team or
Sure.
like combo moves, and think like the fastball special from like Ultimate Alliance, like Colossus throwing Wolverine kind
Oh
of
yeah.
thing.
Sure. Yeah.
So
Awesome.
this is developed by NetEase Games. They haven't done a lot of like really big titles out there, but some of the ones I picked out of their list was Life After, Once Human, Bloodstrike, and Lord of the Rings Rise to War. Those are all mostly, I think, have more of a following on like PC. This is eventually going to be released for all consoles
Nice.
and PC and stuff like that.
Very cool.
Probably some, one to definitely watch for sure, but unfortunately we're not getting it till about first or second quarter 2025, so we got a little ways
Oh
yet.
wow. Well,
But for a game like this, though, it's going to be like you figure 12 people online from different places
sure.
in one thing. You're going to have to make sure everything's ironed out.
Yeah, which is cool.
It
It's
hits.
fine. Take your time, because you don't want to just release a shitty product. you know?
But so far, oh my god, it looks like so much fun.
Nice.
And I don't play games like that.
Really, yeah.
Yeah, like I don't like the team shooter crap. I don't do a whole lot of that.
Yeah.
But this is something I could definitely see getting myself into.
It's awesome.
Coming soon releases for you PlayStation fans. October 8th, the Silent Hill 2 remake is coming out, which I'm very much looking forward to. Starship Troopers Extermination on October 11th.
I bet that's fun.
Yeah. So it's kind of going to be like if you've played Aliens Fireteam Elite,
Yeah.
kind of something similar to that, like a team-based
Oh, cool.
strategy kind of thing. Here's a game you'll like, because you like the most recent Ninja Turtles game or movie that came out.
Yeah.
You like that one, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So Mutants Unleashed on both PS4 and PS5
I have a
on
4.
October 18th be
Cool.
coming out. So it looks like kind of a, I don't know, like kind of a tie-in. It's the same like animation style
Sure.
as that, but it's based on
Cool.
on Mutant whatever it was, Mutant Mayhem,
Sure.
I
sure.
think is what it's called.
Yep. Yeah, I don't
I
know
never
what
saw
that
the
style is. You never did see it?
I never saw the newest one.
Oh, you got to. I think you'll like it.
Yeah.
Now, some of the, you know what? I'm sorry, another tangent. They have not designed Splinter right since the live action films. He looks so weird in the Bay produced ones, and then this latest one, like, it's okay.
He's like kind of a like got like an afro and stuff in this one, or
Yeah, or when he's younger, he does, and he has a mustache. It's just like weird. Like, it looks like Mr. Cotter, but then he just, as an older Splinter, I don't know. I'm just picky. Like, I don't mind what they did with the turtles. Like, they look fine, but it's like they can't get Splinter right. I don't know why.
I still want one in the OG style.
I do too.
Give me the OG Eastman Laird comics. They all have red.
Oh, go back even further. Yeah.
Go back to the gritty shit. I want to see the.
That'll come eventually.
I
You
wanna
know
see
it
that
will.
stuff.
I know they did a gritty one like years ago, like a fan film. It was I think April O'Neil was getting like pursued by some dude, and it's out there. Maybe I'll put the link in the comments, or I'm sorry, in the notes. But she's like followed into her apartment, and this guy's like ready to pounce on her. I don't know if he's gonna rape her or what, but Raphael comes in and just like beats the shit out of him, and it's just the way it's like shown. It's so badass. Like
so there was. I can't remember. It was like 2008, 2007, 2008, something like that, when the one of the first like Nickelodeon series came out, where they are of like the animated series.
Yeah, I know what you're talking. Yeah,
and they did like that whole like multiverse thing where
That
they
was
had like
awesome.
the 80s guys, and then they go to the Eastman Laird universe and like Raph loves his stuff. He's like beating the crap out of people.
They're like, who are those guys? Yeah, the the 90s ones, like, who are those guys?
Yeah.
And like, hey.
Like, oh, you'll have coordinated colored belts. Isn't that cute? Anyway.
Oh, I love it. No, this
I would love to see something along that lines, and
Sure.
maybe I've heard it's kind of like slipping into development hell a little bit.
the game is.
But maybe The Last Ronin, when that game comes out, we'll kind of get that gritty.
That's the game
feel
we
to
really
it.
need. But I get this one will probably get a lot of kids invested.
This
'cause
is going to be a one to set the kids in front
I
of and let
understand.
them
The
play.
Ronin one's very dark. I'm sure it's going to be if it ever happens. But man, where's that movie? Shit. I mean, there's so many cool concepts out there right now. Like ugh.
I would love to see them.
We just keep revisiting like the intro, to them, and it's like I like it, but it still is like the Last Ronin I didn't know about till like maybe a year or so ago. I'm like, holy fuck, where's this at in live action? Like,
Yeah.
this is badass. Like,
Yeah.
you could do this for cheap too. You don't even have to have all the turtles in it. Just have one turtle.
Well, we've already proven with Five Nights at Freddy's that Jim Henson Studio still has it.
Right, and that was them then, huh?
Yeah.
Okay,
They did the
I should've
animatronics
known
for
that,
Five
but I
Nights at
didn't.
Freddy's.
Dude, it still
You
works,
would know
man.
that if you watched my review, which is on my channel.
I did. It's a long time ago. Yes,
I know
your channel.
It was a long time ago, and I haven't put anything new on there for
saw
like
the
7
movie.
months. So
I did some of the homework.
you're forgiven.
No,
I'm
yeah,
kidding.
definitely.
But,
no, I look forward to it. Like, all turtle games are kind of the same.
See, in
but I'm sure this will have that animation flair to it.
not
which
this
is cool.
one, but but Shredder's Revenge
Okay.
that they put out
Yeah.
is one of my favorite ones because it's like the arcade style
Right.
Ninja Turtles or like
Like
Turtles
2D,
in Time.
2D pixelated.
Yeah,
sort
where you're
of.
like
Yeah.
scrolling around the side-scrolling beat 'em up thing, but
That
like
was one of my first games for turtles. It
then
was
they
awesome.
made it so like you could play as Splinter, as April,
Oh,
as
cool.
Usagi Yojimbo.
Yeah.
Oh
fun.
man, I love it.
Oh man.
Anyway,
That'd be cool, man. I
Yeah.
might get that game. That sounds pretty cool.
yeah. Not a whole lot of news, but I'm sure like again, San Diego Comic-Con, there's a lot of video game developers out there too, so
Fun.
maybe we'll hear some cool stuff with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's all I really got.
That's cool, man. I guess we'll move into reviews, recommendations, and then we're out of here. So,
You had one. What is Bratz?
Brat. So, the Brat Pack.
Yeah,
From the,
okay.
like Emilio Estevez, like basically Breakfast Club, the John Hughes films.
Yeah,
At least
yeah,
Breakfast
yeah.
Club and 16 Candles. So, yeah. I knew of him as a Brat Pack eventually. And I always thought that was kind of a cool name for them, but apparently at the time it was like a bombshell article. This like reporter coined that phrase, and it kind of diminished these young actors who really were approaching all this material like with the with the craft and just trying to have a great performance come out of it and contribute. And after this happened, a lot of them kind of just like separated from each other, which really sucks because we could have got like a lot more films, but
Yeah.
they got labeled that, and it kind of just like basically everything crumbled. And luckily, a lot of the actors that time are still big names or became big names, and they might not be quite big anymore, like Emilio Estevez and things like that. But
Yep.
anyway, this is a documentary directed by Andrew McCarthy. He how I first came to know him was Weekend at Bernie's. He was the slapsticky coworker of the more serious guy.
Yeah.
Don't remember the names. I know Bernie, of course, but
It's been years since I've seen that movie.
yeah, that sequel. That's one to watch for at the movies.
We got to do RoboCop 3 first.
Yes, I'm excited for that too. Definitely.
If that movie exists.
Yeah, if it exists, we're gonna find out. It might have to pay for it. Shit.
Jesus.
Redbox, where are you when I need you?
We're going to have to find
That wouldn't be in Redbox.
some dark web Chinese market site to find that one.
There'll be a if Redbox had it, it'd be like Robust Cops or something like that.
Jesus.
I don't know.
Oh.
Those fun names. I love to like. There should be a documentary on people like how they name that shit, like how they come up with things like that and the concepts. But yeah, so Bratz is on Hulu. It's a documentary directed by one of the Brat Pack's members. Even though they never were a member and they never loved that name, it turns out, they hated it. And Emilio Estevez is really honest, where he's like, I really didn't want to talk about this because he just doesn't like it. He doesn't like that period, because it was actually an article he was like featured mainly in. He was interviewed by this guy, and so yeah, they get this guy kind of like made it into something else.
Yeah.
Like Emilio trusted this guy, and
He kind of like twisted the narrative and
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And that guy's in this film too, which is crazy. They're like they like talk to him, but Andrew McCarthy does. He's our way in. So he meets up with pretty much everyone from the Brat Pack is in it, except Judd Nelson and Molly Ringwald, and there's one more I can't remember who, but
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Anthony Michael Hall.
Or Anthony Michael.
He wasn't in it. Well, a lot of them were just like, I think we've rehashed it enough.
It's a guy with 3 names.
Yes,
Give me a break.
Right. Yeah. Boy, that'd be impressive if they got Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Jesus.
He faked his death and he was in the Brat Pack.
Yeah.
But no, it's a great documentary. Really lets you in on like how they interpreted that name. And I don't know, I kind of think it's a charming name, but I understand if you're a young actor and you're trying to be taken seriously, and then Brat is like you're given that name. Yeah.
They also had something similar with Saturday Night Live. They had the Frat Pack, which was like, I forget who all was in that. I think it was like the guys like Chris Farley, Adam Sandler.
Okay.
Those kind of guys that were like doing the more juvenile stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
But
yeah.
I remember that's what I was thinking of initially was that.
Didn't hurt them though, apparently, because they went on to keep doing
But I do
things,
remember the Brat Pack thing.
Yeah.
Like the whole,
it's a gimmick. You want to, coin a phrase, and that's this reporter's like rise to fame, I think, pretty much.
Well, it's like calling people the shit stains. I mean, what do you think that's going to do for their career?
You're right.
They
don't care. They just want to sell. They want to sell papers.
They,
It's a headline.
wanted to sell articles.
Turns out nothing's changed for 40 years or whenever it was. But
BuzzFeed's the new tabloid.
Yeah, but it's a great documentary, and
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's worth checking out for sure. Yeah. Now we do have reviews coming of Twister, Longlegs, and of course Deadpool, Wolverine. Those will drop eventually. I know Jonah has seen Longlegs, so he's going to like send that to me, so should get that up there soon. But other than that, I mean, I'm still going to recommend Deadpool Wolverine. I haven't seen it, but I think it's going to be good.
It's going to be fine.
I hope so.
I
hope so. Just like Joker.
Yeah.
Folie à Deux, or how would you say it?
Forky à jus.
Forky à jus.
Yeah.
That sounds like it should be in a can at the store. Forky à jus.
It's the little like stuff that you. Yeah. Well, you know what au jus is. Fuck. All these old people on here are like, yes, I remember getting that at the Coney Island the other day.
Nice.
Pixar, don't sue us.
Right. But yeah, Twisters, of course, it's outperforming expectations. It sucks because our local IMAX has
That
it.
sucks, and it's a. Never mind.
I didn't mean to do that. That's so, yeah.
Sure, you didn't.
Or did I? No, but today was the last day it was going to be an IMAX. And I was like, fuck, I really wanted to see an IMAX. I think that would have been so cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course, Deadpool Wolverine's coming. So that has to like scoot over. And yeah, it's not coming back in IMAX. But funny thing is, we did show our kids the first Twister last weekend. They
What
said
do they think of it?
they said it was all right. They're hard to please, man. Sometimes
they're
things
at that
stick.
age where it's like, yeah.
Yeah,
this
I
is
mean, some
lame,
things
Dad.
stick, but like, yeah, some things are like,
You have to
really?
what you have to do. Okay, this is some good advice for all you parents out there. If you want your kid to pay attention to anything, what you got to do is put the movie or whatever you're trying to get them to pay attention to at like the top, 3/4 of the screen, and at the bottom 1/4 of the screen you have Subway Surfers playing. That's what they do on TikTok. I mean, all those ADD kids just seem to eat it up. So
Right. Well, yeah, I did try to get my soundbar to work, and it didn't. It wasn't cooperating. But I did.
Yeah.
I did tell them like, I pretty much kind of had. Well, it stretched a little bit, but I sort of had like a nice ambiance when I watched the first Twisters. First Twister. It was the first and last time I was at a drive-in. It just happened that way. Like,
yes,
I planned to go back, but it just happened that way. Like, I never returned. But it was the South Side. I think it was the South Side Drive-In, I believe.
Yeah.
And we just had tornadoes the night before around here, so the sky still looked like it could do anything.
that's
Yeah, this was
glorious.
like, yeah, and of course there's a drive-in scene, and you're like, holy shit. But
Yeah.
no, but it's a triple bill. That's what's cool about the drive-in theaters. You get 3 movies for the price of one. Usually, I think it was. So they had it was Twister, and then it was, I think, Executive Decision, and Grumpy Old Men. Yeah. A good. It was a really good time, and I planned to go back, just never happened. I wasn't able to drive at the time, so that also hurt. But anyway, I told that to my kids, like that. It was like the perfect way to see it, really was, and it still remains special because that was the first and last time I was at a drive-in. So maybe I'll go to the one in Newton sometime. I don't know, but we have a drive-in still around here. I don't know whoever's watching if you have one by you, but yeah, maybe I'll get back there eventually. I'll have to drive a ways, but yeah, Glenn Powell, man, he is becoming a rising star. I mean, we already knew that from like Top Gun, and he's a pretty boy, so of course ladies like him and all that. And he did that movie with what's her face, Sweeney, Big Jugs Sweeney. Big Jugs Sweeney.
Yeah.
Oh, what's her name? She was in Madam Web.
Sydney Sweeney. Is that it? Yeah.
I was close.
Anyway.
But
Never mind.
they did a romantic comedy, and I guess that was a pretty big hit. But anyway, so he's getting more attention. Of course, this Twisters is outperformed expectations. Ironically, he just started following James Gunn and Andy Machete on Instagram, and a lot of people are like, "Could this be our new Batman?" Because they are making the Brave and the Bold. So now here's the thing I am not crazy about. Andy Machete is directing the Brave and the Bold. You know what he directed last summer? The Flash. So I'm very nervous. But he did the movie, he did the It movies. So it probably was just it's probably just a script thing, I'm guessing. And of course it was
studio involvement.
What's his face? The star of the Flash, that
Ezra Miller.
Yeah. So anyway, it'll probably be okay. I think we'll be fine. But before this was like a potential, a lot of people were like, yeah, Batman, he's gonna be Batman. Like, I see it now. I think that'd be perfect casting. However,
well, when you cast a new Batman, you've got to look at him.
Yeah.
Take all this out of the equation, because that's what's going to be seen.
Yeah. Right.
But we are getting a second. I think we are getting a second The Batman.
Yes, yeah, that's still happening.
Some
That's under Elseworlds, I think, too. But that's fine. That's fine. But yeah, I never thought of Glenn Powell as a Batman. And now that I think about it, I'm like, I dig it. I think it's kind of a cool idea.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll happen. I mean, this could be a little wink.
Get me wrong. I'm always happy to see a new Batman.
Yeah.
I still want to see like how far they can push it with the Batman.
Oh yeah, they will too.
You
I
know.
mean, I think we're gonna get at least 2 more of those.
Brave and the Bold's kind of like a, I don't want to say campy, but it's a little more lighthearted
Right.
kind
yeah.
of take on Batman.
It'll definitely be lighter than the Batman.
Because it was
Matt
a,
Reeves.
they had like an animated series of it or something like that, didn't they?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it just focuses on the Bat family. This will. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
It might be a little dark. I hope so. I don't want it to be all bright.
We don't need to go Schumacher.
No,
But
not
we don't
that,
need
no.
to quite go Nolan. We can like
Right.
kind of meet in the
Happy
middle a little
balance.
bit.
Yes, happy balance.
No rubber nipples. I will say something that I've watched that you guys have brought up before, you and Steve especially.
Yeah.
I just finished season 3 of the Orville.
Nice.
I've seen like long time ago. I maybe saw like 1 or 2 episodes, just kind of in passing, kind of thing. Binged the whole series, absolutely loved it. If you're a fan of classic Trek, check it out.
Yeah.
I know the name Seth MacFarlane puts people off, but yeah, it's like what Trek should be,
New Trek.
kind of thing. What new Trek
Yes.
should be.
Yes.
I will
Agreed.
say the only thing I didn't like about the 3rd season is that they went away from like the more practical like model effects
Sure.
and did like which, you know what, bigger budget, you know, Hulu had more,
Yeah.
threw more money at them for it, whatever, but
Sure. Yeah, they were trying
still
to.
just like any integrated a lot of people from Trek, like Trek alumni,
Yes, he
into
did.
it.
He sure did.
and John Favreau was a consultant on it.
Yes,
That's really cool.
He directed the first episode of the Orville, I think.
Yeah.
And when that came out, I thought it looked great. And yeah, of course, I had my doubts because Seth MacFarlane. So I was like, I don't know how this is going to be, but it got reviewed bombed. Like, and I saw it, and I was like, I don't agree with these reviews at all. I think it's just
No.
hate. It's just hate because this show is instantly like fun to watch for me.
People thought that it was going to be Galaxy Quest,
Sure,
probably,
yeah,
like kind of
yeah.
be a stupid, like, oh,
I mean-
Seth MacFarlane's making dick jokes on Star Trek. Like,
Yeah,
cool.
I mean, I think they did start a little loosey goosey, and then they got more serious.
They-
it became
they
a dramedy.
did.
It became
They
a
did.
dramedy. Yeah, like he's drinking while flying the shuttle, and they almost hit a ship. But I
Yeah.
thought it was all fun. Like it wasn't Star Trek, so I was like, this is fun.
It was
I'm
neat.
okay with
and
it.
It's cool to see. I know Hulu hasn't picked it up for a 4th season, but MacFarlane is pushing for a 4th season.
I think there's a lot of rumblings going on right now, and I think we will get a 4th season. I'm pretty sure.
Whether or not it'll be
Hulu, you mean? Or-
Hulu,
Yeah,
but it is
I don't know.
20th Century Fox, so it's,
Right.
or at least, you know, it's produced by Fox.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
see. I hope they make a 4th season.
I think they will. If not a season, maybe a movie. That's okay too.
You know, I will say this. Like, I did like when TNG did that,
Yeah,
when Next Generation did that, when they went from series to movie.
yeah,
It was neat to see what they could do with a bigger budget. But I
Yes.
think we've already gotten that with the 3rd season.
that's true. Yeah, because they were trying to make like mini movies.
They did
basically.
some cool stuff with the
Yeah.
3rd season, like the Pterodon,
Yeah.
like the little fighter
Yep, that was
things.
cool. Cool
Those were
addition.
neat
Yeah,
ships,
right.
all that stuff.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah,
Yeah, but I'd love to see a 4th season come out for it.
absolutely. Yeah, that's definitely something I would buy physically. Physical media. I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, nice box set.
Especially because you never know, whoever picks up the 4th season, it could disappear from
Right.
Hulu, Disney Plus.
And if we get an announcement of a 4th season, the other thing is you got to make sure all these actors have moved on and creators, so you got to bring them back, and also hopefully the sets are still built, because if not, they have to pay for new sets, and that might hurt its chance of coming back. But I'm hoping they still have those sets. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they save things.
but
yeah,
I will say this, though. If they don't make a 4th season, if they don't continue it from here,
Sure.
they left it off at a good place.
Yeah.
There's some stuff they need to resolve,
right.
but they left it off at a good place.
And like Serenity, we got a movie from what was the show?
Firefly.
Firefly. That ended abruptly, but then we got Serenity, and I think that kind of helped end that, if that was going to be the end. And I think if we don't get a fourth season, yeah, maybe we'll get a nice film that can end things, or at least put a nice cap on it. And then down the road, you can do them older, as you did with Star Trek. People. So,
yep.
Of course, check us out wherever you podcast, download, stream, YouTube, and of course, fieldofgeeks.com. And we're out there on all social media as well. Quick shout out to our new subs, especially on YouTube.
Yeah,
awesome. Keep
that was
it going.
great to see.
Holy crap.
Last episode, that was awesome.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, we've
Thank
gotten
you.
like 3 more since the last episode, 4 more. I mean,
Can't thank you
it's
all
awesome.
enough. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So
If you want to help Billy Creston get up to 50.
yes.
I'm
Well,
kidding.
speaking of that, you're getting
So
there.
I feel bad because I have new content recorded. Okay.
Sure.
I feel bad because I think the last episode of my Alien Isolation series was months ago at this point.
Sure.
Just life happens.
Yep.
But looking to get some new content out there, especially now on PS5. So there's a wider variety of newer stuff I can put out there.
Absolutely.
Looking to get into Rogue City at
Cool.
some point. So I don't know if that's going to be a game that there's certain games that like you can't play and commentate at the same time.
Yeah.
The horror ones are a little easier because it's like you've got a lot of time of just sitting there being like, oh my God, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
But yeah, check that out. YouTube.com at Billy Creston. Also, while you're on YouTube, check out the Ravex podcast.
Yes.
Our good friend Raven Xavier does the intro song for our podcast. He's got music out there on Bandcamp. He's got podcast episodes. Great stuff. Go check that out.
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back. I'm Josh.
I'm Bill.
Take care.